like, hear the noise? It's mental. Welcome back to the channel, my beautiful musical children. This week, we have a brand new amp head in for testing. Something a little bit different though. Something I'm sure you haven't seen a YouTube video on recently, because when I looked, I couldn't find anything that wasn't a camera phone video from 2010. For those of you who tuned in earlier in the week, I uploaded a video of myself playing through this amp, and I asked you to guess what it was, and for a bonus point, I asked you to guess what it cost too. The reason I did this is because, as I'm going to show you in a minute, it's a very unconventional amp, and the price tag is also unconventional for a fully featured 2-channel amp head that kicks some serious ass. So without further ado, the big reveal. Yes, you guessed it, or you didn't guess it. It's the Hughes and Kettner Warp 7. All the way back from 2003, the serial number is on this amp. This is a fully solid state 100 watt 2-channel amplifier. Now, I bought this amp in pretty good condition, to be honest with you, off of eBay for the princely sum of 80 English pounds, which for those of you stateside is about $100 plus a dash of shipping on top. Now, I'm going to do a full breakdown of this amp. It's a weird one. It's not without its downsides, but I fucking love the way this thing sounds. When I first plugged it in, I was shocked. I couldn't believe. I thought I was going to buy this amp head in and it would be some sort of joke. That it would be like, I don't know, a clickbait title of I bought an amp head for less than £100 off eBay and then this happened, or you know, one of those like horrendous fucking like thumbnails on YouTube, which is like, oh, some shit like that. Anyway, I was, you know, I had an open mind. I'm not biased against solid state kit. I'm certainly not biased against digital modeling, as those of you who follow the channel regularly will know. I just thought I'll take a punt on it. Reason being, I remember when I was just a wee nipper, back in the nu metal days when I had my flame shirt and my wallet chain and my blue bolt jeans, I remember flipping through a copy of, I believe it was Total Guitar magazine, and I saw an advert for the Hughes and Kettner Warp 7, the world's first amplifier designed for detuned guitars and the sound of nu metal, and the ad campaign behind it was really good. Even more so because of the fact they had Korn on the advert endorsing it, and I think it was Monkey, a picture of Monkey like playing it, stood next to it. You know, little 15, 16-year-old me, or whatever old I was, I saw that advert and I was like, oh my god, it's like the holy grail. Like, this is what I need to make me like the ultimate badass like songwriter and rock star and all that kind of thing. Did Korn ever play this amp officially? Can any of you tell me if there's a live video out there somewhere of them actually using this head? Because I've got a feeling they were chucked a few quid just for an endorsement for the ad campaign behind this amplifier. Anyway, this amp head was not produced for very long. It didn't sell very well. The serial number on this one is 2003. It survived extremely well, being an 18-year-old amplifier now. Like I said, I purchased it used off eBay, £80, can't believe it. There's a few marks on it. It works perfectly. It's fucking loud. You know, this may be partially to do with the fact I'm running it through my Zilla 2x12 with vintage 30s, which is the loudest cabinet I have ever heard. It like beat my old 4x12 hands down. But there's so much talk about solid state amps just not having the punch that valve amps have, and certainly wattage for wattage not having the volume either. But I really don't notice it with this amp, honestly. I have a 120 watt PV Ultra all tube amplifier, which I cannot take past like 3 on volume in this room because it's just too painful. The decibel meter starts like bursting into flames if I do that. This amp, really similar. I'm between 2 and 3 on both the channels at the moment, and trust me, that is plenty. This amplifier, and I've spent about 2 weeks playing with it and getting used to it or so before I did the video, because I want to, you know, give you a full review and an honest opinion of it. You hear the phrase, don't you, quite often, which is great idea, bad execution. In my opinion, this amplifier is a case of bad idea, brilliant execution. Because what this amp offers you is a shitload of low end. It's bordering on being a bass amp if you crank the bass knob up on the drive channel. To me, if you're playing detuned guitars, like 7-string and everything, extended range like this amp was marketed for, you want to chase like clarity and tightness in the low end, to me. Something like an overdriven 5150 or a Rev or an Engel, something dry and tight, so you can hear all those notes slow down in the lower registers. Hughes and Kettner, the mad German scientists, they decided, no, what you want is you want a shitload of low end. You want enough low end to make even the Deftones like raise their eyebrows. And to that effect, the EQ on this amp is absolutely ridiculous. As far as I can tell, when it comes to the drive channel, the bass knob, from the full range of 0 to max, gives you two options. You can have a shitload of low end, or slightly less, but still a shitload of low end. The mid knob basically does nothing, because the amp is just scooped, all right? If you don't like a scoop sound, go elsewhere, because that's all you can get, even cranking the mid all the way. The treble knob basically does everything. You control the entire amp from the treble knob. Not only does it control how much clarity and definition you're getting in the notes, but as you would normally expect from a treble knob, it controls the amount of fizz and sizzle on the high end too. The gain knob, you can have a shitload of gain or a shitload of gain. That's it. Moving on to the clean channel. The clean channel is insanely bright and trebly. Reading the release notes and the advertisement for this amplifier, the clean channel was meant to be for your kind of Wes Borland, Korn, heavily effects processed clean tones. So I don't know what the thinking was there, whether it was let's make it really, really bright so that you maintain definition through all this modulation and time-based effects and stuff. But the clean channel is ridiculously bright. I've got the treble turned between 10 and 11 o'clock, and it still sounds like I've got a bright switch turned on somewhere. Those are kind of the downsides and the weirdness of this amplifier. What I will say is, I love the way this thing sounds, especially through a 7-string, which I'll show you in a minute. The distorted channel is just filthy. That extra low end and the flubbiness is like the dirtiest sound. Like, it would be perfect for playing like doom, sludgy stuff. Think Down, you know, think Black Sabbath, think just dark, muddy, dirty. I love it. I digged it from the first second I turned the amp on, and now I've had some time to play with it, to hook it up to my Helix with the 4-cable method and run a drive and a compressor into the front. I like it as much as my PV all tube Ultra Plus vintage. You know, I like it just as much. I've been jamming loads through this. And the next thing that really surprised me was how beautiful the clean channel is. I mean, I defy you to tell me that this doesn't sound like a valve clean channel. It's just so warm sounding, like way beyond what I would expect from an early 2000s solid state amplifier. Hughes and Kettner are renowned for having lovely clean channels, right from their kind of budget range, which is like the Black Spirit, for example, right up to the Grandmeister, the Triamp, And this amp is no exception. It's one of the nicest clean channels I've played through any amp head. The warp channel, let's have a listen, shall we? I'm going to use voice 2 on my brand spanking new Legator N6X, which I also have a video on coming up on the channel, so look out for that one. It's going to be really good. I tend to like voice 2 on the Fishman Fluence pickups on this guitar just because it's a little bit less harsh sounding. So like thick and nasty sounding. I've got the bass turned to between 10 and 11 o'clock, and even on a 6-string it's fucking like really bassy and boomy, but just in a deeply satisfying way. And I know what you're thinking, being a loud, metal-orientated, solid-state amplifier, can it do the Pantera Dimebag type of sound? And yes. Absolutely, this is an amp you can get that real dry, spiky, kind of like solid state Pantera sound with some extra low end just thrown in there. Downsides of the warp channel are, it's fucking noisy. Like, this thing is almost borderline unusable without a noise gate, and I'll show you now. So currently I have my Helix with the 4-cable method, running a drive-in compressor into the front. In the effects loop of the amplifier, I have a noise gate, like, cranked, which is giving me... It's still feeding back a tiny bit. So let me switch to... This is just the amp you're going to hear, no noise gate, nothing now, okay? This is like... Hear the noise? It's mental, and the gain on the amp is like 1 o'clock. It's not even like cranked up. So fucking hell, this thing's noisy. You can hear as well the warp channel just without any overdrives or anything. So just filthy sounding. Just let's get a 7-string out, shall we? Dare I say it? It's kind of reminiscent to me of the guitar tone on Dead Heart in a Dead World by Nevermore. It's dirty sounding. so much low mid, so much low end as well. It really is just a filth machine with a 7-string guitar. I did try an 8-string I have through this, again with Fishman's, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think this is quite the amp for 8-string. Just that amount of low end against like a low F is just too much, man. It gets muddy, it sounds filthy, but there's just too little clarity and definition, I think, in there to be a truly effective amp for 8-string guitars. But 6-string, 7-string, it's an absolute filth machine. I am just blown away by this amplifier, and I'm glad it's good because I've fulfilled one of my childhood fantasies to own one. And they always say, don't they, never meet your idols, but in this case, I'm over the moon. Build quality wise as well, this amp is made in Germany. The pots, the switches, they feel like they're made of granite. You know, like I said, this amp is 18 years old. There's not a loose pot, there's not a dry connection, there's nothing. It's solid as a rock. That's to be commended. So there we have it. That's the Hughes & Kettner Warp 7 that I picked up for an unbelievable price of £80. Ladies and gentlemen, if you see this amp out there in the wild, in a pawn shop probably, or on eBay or Gumtree or Craigslist, snap it up, especially if you own a noise gate or a drive of some kind, because once you add those two into the mix, this becomes a proper high gain contender. Thank you so much again for watching one of my videos. If you enjoyed this, think about chucking me a subscribe because it encourages me and assists me to make more videos like this. I also have been really grateful for the fact that you guys have posted some suggestions in the comments and actually given me some great ideas for videos. So please do keep those coming. Let me know if there's a certain amp head or drive pedal, a certain guitar, a set of pickups, anything you would be interested to see, to watch me fuck around with and talk some crap about, because I really enjoy it. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time.